you doing? Welcome to 4 Stories Dublin. Myself and Dean, Liam behind camera.
Hello.
He's drinking his milk.
Yes.
It's a programme. Now, myself and yourself, we're going to do Vikings Valhalla, the second season.
Yes.
Now, myself and yourself have worked on this. I did about 3, I think season 3, season 4 and season 5, I think.
What was the last season 6? They done a season 6.
There was a 6 and a 7 I didn't do. Now, what did you do?
I done season 6. I done the whole last season of Vikings.
Right.
That was just the whole last season.
You were doing the English in it, were you?
Yes.
Saxons.
Yes, the Saxons.
I was on the Viking side and different sides. Valhalla is the sequel to Vikings.
Yeah. It's not the same.
Not the same.
Vikings. The characters there were 1 in a million.
Yes. I
know
do.
what I mean?
I do see where you come from, but it is the successor in that universe as such.
The Vikings have a little hole in my heart. My missus could tell you I adore Vikings. I don't like it now, so.
And it's on Netflix now instead of Amazon.
Yes, Netflix have the rights to it again.
Yes,
they had their rights at first, if I wasn't correct. And then Prime ended up getting it after 3 seasons, I think it was, or 4 seasons of the Vikings.
So, and AMC at this point?
What?
Wasn't it owned by AMC Networks at one point?
It moved around hugely.
Wherever they got the budget, that realistically.
We got the budget. And if you'd like to say hello to Ragnar here.
Oh, Ragnar
Lothbrok. He's there. So, do you want to kick off episode 1 and see where this goes?
I'm going to just give a little small brief description, considering it's only after recently coming out. I don't want to give out too much of it, so I'm going to give a little brief description. So, little spoilers alert now for anyone who hasn't watched it yet. But I'm going to give a run through of the whole episode, right? So, I say I'll give a run through and have probably a little discussion afterwards, right?
No bother.
So, this starts off with a brutal fight in the woods, right? Leif kills a few Viking traitors who are all under the oath of Olaf. So, we all remember Olaf from the last season. He's a bit mad.
Yes. Right?
So, Leif also sees Olaf was taken by Forkbeard. So we know who Forkbeard is. He's a mad kind of king, you know. He wants to be labelled. He's like another Harald for anyone who was only watched Vikings. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of reminded me of the head of the Lannisters.
Yes. So he's been taken by Forkbeard, and we see him, and he's in prison, but he's in the nip. He's naked.
Yes.
He's naked in prison here now, right? So Leif goes out to find Olaf, but manages to find him just before he's sentenced to death.
Yes.
He was going to be hung. Leif managed to just find him and save him, right? So this man then appears out of nowhere. I think his name is, excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, Jorundr, I think, right?
Yeah.
So Jorundr managed to come along with Leif, and Leif explains to him, look, Olaf will get what he deserves at some point, so let's leave it for now. So
this is all in the middle of Kattegat.
Yes, this is all in the middle of Kattegat, as you know yourself, alright? So Forkbeard appears to Olaf now, right? Demands him to train his son. Okay?
His grandson.
Train his grandson. Yeah, train his grandson to be king. Which is what he wants. This is what he asked for, okay? Yes. He agrees only on the possibility that Forkbeard will look after his son. That no one will kill his son.
It's also his grandson.
Yeah. So it's all come down to it, like, right, so if you don't look after him, I'm going to kill him myself.
Yes.
So there's not really much of a choice. And he doesn't care about family, he doesn't care about anyone.
No.
So I'll give him the benefit of
the doubt.
He's mad. They're all mad. That's what they are, right? So with this now, we cut over toward Harald and Freydis.
Yeah.
They're about living in the wilderness now. They're about laying low. They're gone quiet.
Yes.
Right, away from all the Vikings now, right? But Harald wants to go back. Harold wants to go back to Kattegat. He wants to go and live the life he was already living. But Freydis doesn't want this. She wants to live where they are. They want to stay quiet. She wants to raise children.
Yes.
And that's the way she wants it. That's the way she
wants to live as pagans out in the woods.
But the seer turns up.
Yeah.
And he manages to convince her
by
the weapons in the sand that he was showing her.
Yes.
He manages to convince her. She says, right, this must be a sign, I'm going to go. So they end up leaving them.
Because she ran away from her people. She had to save herself.
Exactly.
But he's telling her she's not making the decision
that should be right by her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's great to see the seer. They call him the Ancient One, which is nice. But it's great to see him back because he's kind of like...
he was a really big influential character in the Vikings.
Huge. I said it to my missus and she said to me, she kind of had this idea that he was one of Odin's ravens.
That's why
He's like from the other world or such.
That's as to where in the old Vikings TV show. Remember when Ragnar was killed? Some of them the Seer turned up to, but some of them the Ravens went. Or when Ivar died, Floki heard the Ravens.
Yes,
he knew straight away. Do you know what I mean? So that's a good point that you made there. Now
I'll thank him for
that. Now we kick into Emma, who is in London. Right, she hears that Canute has won 2 more battles.
Yes.
So now she's curious whether they're coming home. Right, but Goodwin is more worried about the safety of Emma.
Yes.
With that after happening, straight away someone tries to come and poison her.
Yeah.
Goodwin's not having any of it. Managed to catch it last minute.
It was a priest, wasn't it?
It was a priest, yeah.
To do, what you call it, the bread.
Yeah. He tried to poison her, and Goodwin went after him as he is, goes running down, managed to catch the man, roughens them up a little bit, but then where does he go? Straight into the jail, right? So we kick into Harald and Freydis. They're heading to Katke, right? But in the process of them going to Katke, everyone, you find out Olaf is already convinced most of the people there that Harald and Freydis are coming with this army
of pagans.
So
the Vikings are divided now into Christians and pagans.
Yes. So he's managed to convince everyone and says, look, whoever...
So he's saying the pagans are the bad guys now.
Yeah. So tells everyone, right, I have 3 more... He has a bucket of gold beside him, starts throwing it into the crowd. There's 2 more of these for any people or any family that can catch me the heads of these people. So everyone's out there and they're all gunning for them, right?
It's put a contract on them as such.
That's what a price has been put on their head now. So no one cares about who they are, they just want that gold. Right? So, just as that's happening, hunters then go after Harald and Freydis. But who comes to the rescue? Leif. Yes. Leif finds out, goes after, catches them, and they all fight together. They're all reunited together again. So, with that after happening, okay, Leif explains to them, look, it's not safe for you to go back there. Olaf's after explaining it to everyone, you are against them. Everyone is turned against it, you can't go. So, they go right back to where they came from, okay? So, again, who turns up? Geronda, if that's his name.
Yes.
He turns up out of nowhere, but they find out he's been a pirate.
Yeah.
To find out he's some sort of pirate.
But they kind of go like he's unhonourable, but that was their original ways.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt myself, you know. But he just turns up out of nowhere, you know, and they find out what he is, so...
He has an interest in her.
Yeah, exactly. Now, she turns out to have some sort of interest in him now. Because she notices a tattoo he has that the seer was shown in the webbing. Yes. She sees a tattoo that the seer was shown in a webbing that he was explaining to her what's wrong. So she takes that as a sign. So she the seer had warned Freydis, so they still stay along with each other anyway. Yeah. Right? Now, Freydis decided to stand with the rabble group on setting sail up wherever they were sailing.
Because she had refused to help. I can't help you. And that's when the seer the ancient one, as they called them.
Exactly, right. So, with them with Freydis and Harald and Leif and John, they're all set down with the Greenlanders and the rabble group. Yeah. Freydis is deciding to stand with them because they're looking to set sail the rabble group are, but they couldn't. But in the meantime, Olaf found out where their location is. Yes. Found out where they are, and they all go. They all go after them. They're going for this war. This big war is about to set off, right? And then Olaf and his men are starting to turn up, but then balls of fire appear out of nowhere, and we're like, "What's going on here?"
That was brilliant.
And who's it? Geronda. Turned up, managed to build this big wall of fire separating them. So,
and I'll be honest, when I was watching it, when I seen his short hair, I went, "Oh, he's one of the Christians going to betray him." Yeah, because I didn't think he looked Viking. You know, what I mean? The old style.
The old style was real
his
long hair.
His clothing was more modern. And all.
So it does kind of give you that intention that right.
But maybe he was doing that to be in the crowd and not mixed.
That's exactly what you'd say. So they had this big wall of fire, and it was separating everyone together. Do you know what I mean? So they were safe, but with that, we come to an end of the episode as to where Harald and Leif are separated from Freydis.
Yeah.
So Freydis is now with Geronda, and they're setting sail to Novgorod.
They've broken away,
yes.
Because what did she say? I cannot have the children of a Christian king.
Yeah.
She cannot abandon her ways.
Yeah.
But she believes he has his own destiny.
Exactly. So now she's gone set sail with Geronda to Novgorod, or I couldn't pronounce that right. So that's how that was a brief description of how the episode actually went. Now, for the first episode back on season 2, Paul, what did you think? Did you think it kind of gave it a bit of a slow start, or do you think you already kind of things were set in stone?
Right, well, one, to be honest with you, if anyone's watching, I actually seen a fella there, Rory, in the background. This show, for me, you see, because I work so much on Vikings for so long,
you have a tendency to look in background.
To look at the background, look at the sets, look at everything. And for me, Vikings season 3, season 4, kind of lost its way, I felt. Sometimes Ivor came back and it found its way again. And then when Vikings Valhalla came out, I didn't watch the 4th season. I had other stuff on and I wasn't. But this got me. Now, for me, it struck me as, I remember there was a time period in the original Vikings that when it was taking its influences from Game of Thrones.
Yes, it was.
Hugely.
And the Last Kingdom.
Yes. But there was a couple of things I thought were good. I liked the way the characters weren't over makeuped. I loved the tattoos. The tattoos looked really cool.
Yeah.
The tattoos were really cool. The actors I found all engaging. I found them all engaging. Everything, a lot of it is a reproduction of the sets. They're using the same sets, but it makes sense because they're in that place.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I felt it took the best of the early season of Vikings and it mixed in some great Game of Thrones action. Now, I felt at the end the fog was a bit much. I understand why it was there.
You knew yourself, they usually always do overdo it.
It was just a bit overdone. But I liked the exchanges between the actors. It felt like one of the things I think is great in Game of Thrones is when you have two characters together and they engage with each other. And I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing the CR back. And I thought, I'm like happy to see him. He'll be there for the whole lot.
He's always going to be there.
And you never know when he's going to appear.
Yeah.
But as I said, like it's kind of rehashed something, but it's done it well.
Yes.
And I didn't think I'd watch it and enjoy it as much as I did.
Especially for a first episode.
For a first episode, I will have to go back and watch season 1 again.
Yeah.
To know kind of
to get a recap on things.
Going. But they are you get the sense they're going out to the Viking world.
Yeah.
Because, the Vikings, to be a Viking, you had to leave the country and do a raid. That's what, other than that, you were were Norse. But the Vikings went out to Russia, they went out to here, they went out to here, they went to Ireland, they went to England, they went to Scotland. And it's opening up the world, and I think it's doing it a good job.
Yeah.
I like the actors. I like their accents. It feels genuinely Scandinavian actors were used at times.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. It's got me back into it.
And what would you rate? Give it a rating out of 10.
8 and 8, but it's little things. Do you know what I mean?
Details, the things that they've done. Yeah.
There's certain production things that look a little too modern for me at times. I could see they're taking scenes from more modern things at times, but I feel it's doing what it reminded me when Floki was in the forest, and I feel it's going the right way.
Yeah.
It's taking the right influence of Game of Thrones, The Lost Kingdom, and the early Vikings and mixing it together. And I like that. It's one of the things I felt about Vikings was they made the armies too big, because if you look back at the population back then, it wasn't that big, that way. And I like that they're more economical of how they film it.
Yeah. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Now, I'm only saying so. Now, for a first episode back, it was a good episode.
Yes.
I was expecting it to go off slow, but they weren't afraid to get straight into some of the fighting business.
Yes.
And straight into the story with it. And as you said, consider we've been on it, we pay attention to some of the little details in the background.
Yes.
We look for some people. Oh, do I remember anyone there?
Yeah.
And you
I had to purpose not try to do that, but I spotted a few people.
I do the same myself.
Yeah.
But it kicked straight into it, like, you know, and it brought off. I'm gonna have to do a recap myself for the last season, just so I have a fair idea what I'm up against again. But it has kicked straight in from that season, you know, and plenty of action packed for the first episode. I can't complain. And as you said, your comparisons, you know, it's like they're trying to mix things up. It's like as if they watched. It's like as if they watched over what they've done wrong with Vikings, because it's still the same creators. It's like they went over.
I think the writer's different though, isn't he?
I think so. But
Yes.
it's like they went over what they done wrong with Vikings.
Yeah.
Look where they lost their audience.
Yes.
And they said, right, we need to fix up on this stuff. But as you said, it's like they took some inspiration from the likes of Game of Thrones and Lost Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is
Isn't
a
a
good
bad
which
thing.
is a good idea. Because they were two shows that bombed.
And the exchanges.
Exactly. Do you
Well,
know what I mean?
Game of Thrones at the end, but there wasn't. But yeah, I understand the
But
point you're making it.
I think it was a good watch, and I'm definitely gonna watch the rest of it. There's always been a piece of my heart for Vikings.
Now we know a good few people involved. Hank Stunts is involved. Is going to be coming up.
He's actually
John's going to be involved. There's going to be
John had actually recently because it's up now. You can actually post his stuff on the social media. Okay, so John
link to the interview for Hank Stunts.
yes, but he recently I seen the photos. I'm not gonna give away
No,
what happens or what episode, but there's a certain fire at some point.
Yeah.
And John put up the video and pictures of the after and during the whole thing, and he was actually one of the people that was set on fire, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks, and to be quite honest with you, I'm watching this and I'm seeing that and I'm like, I really want to get back into it again. Do you know what I mean? So now I think I might try and give it a ging again.
Oh yeah.
But no, I think we might give it a wrap.
Yeah.
think that's a wrap on this episode. So
Yeah.
Vikings Valhalla season 2 episode 1.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments. If there's anything else you think we should
Felt
do,
different about it.
if you think we should review the whole season, please give us a little bit of info. Tell us if you should, no you shouldn't. Don't be afraid to leave it in the comments or have a message.
Yeah.
Like, follow and subscribe.
And so we'll go and say goodbye from us all and goodbye from Ragnar.
Ragnar Lothbrok. Thanks again.
Best of luck.
See ya.